Assalamu alaikum YouTube, Oni here and with another movie review. This time it's a Netflix original movie that came out a couple of days ago, Outlaw King. Now this whole movie is about Robert the Bruce and his struggle to kick England's ass right out of his borders to gain independence for his home country of Scotland. Chris Pine plays the titular character of Robert the Bruce, and I have to say his melancholic portrayal of the character is amazing to watch. Unlike what most other movies of this sort do, Chris Pine actually portrays the character as a real human character who has doubts and fears regarding what he is doing. Florence Pugh plays the character of Elizabeth de Burgh, the wife of Robert the Bruce, and I have to say the chemistry between Chris Pine and Florence is really fun to watch, and I just wish there was more of it than what we got. Apart from them, there are a bunch of other characters who sadly aren't too much fleshed out as compared to Chris Pine's character of Robert the Bruce. The one that really stands out is Aaron Taylor Johnson's character of James Douglas. That character is a lot of fun to watch, and Aaron Taylor did a really good job portraying that character. Now the story of this movie follows the struggles of Robert the Bruce against the English crown and quickly turns into this band of brother type adventure where this group of Robert the Bruce and his supporters are going from place to place to gain support against the English armies. As for the movie itself, this is one of the most beautiful movies that I have ever seen. The cinematography, the locations, the aesthetics, the costumes, everything in this movie is beautiful to look at. There are wide, huge vista shots of locations in England and Scotland, and they are breathtaking. One of the things that contribute to the most to the overall beauty of the movie, it's the soundtrack. The soundtrack is also one of the best that I have heard in a long while, and it's really surprising that they haven't released it already, because I want to get that soundtrack. The soundtrack really complements whatever is going on the screen expertly. For example, there is a scene right before the final battle of this movie where the way the scene is shot and the soundtrack that goes with it, it was one of the most beautiful pieces of cinema, in my opinion, to me, that I have ever seen. Now, the movie isn't perfect like any other movie. There are some pacing issues in this movie. There are some scenes in which nothing is going on, and then there are scenes where too much is going on. But the biggest problem that I had was there is a sense of time lapse between different events. But you never know that there is a time lapse unless you actually know the actual history of what took place back in those days. Now this movie is 2 hours long and might not be the cup of tea of everybody, but I do suggest that you all go out and watch this movie. It is excellent to look at, if not for the story, just for the visual representation of that time period. That's worth it alone. The movie is 2 hours long and it might get boring for some people, but I have to say to stick it out until the end, because there is a battle at the end. Now obviously this is a war movie and war movies usually have violence, but I have to say they treat violence with a lot of respect in this movie. What I mean by that is they only show violence when it is absolutely necessary to put out a point to us viewers of the severity of the situation any character in. And I have to say there is violence in this movie, but it's very low. This is a movie you can easily watch with your family and even younger audiences. Same goes for the nudity in this movie. This is a movie that you can actually sit and watch with your family. There is very little nudity in this movie, but it is there. But I'm still glad that they didn't go down the same path of some of these modern fantasy shows or historical shows that people are doing now, where they have to depend on excessive violence and debauchery to get their points across. Or I don't know why they do that. Like, I really don't. Anyway guys, Outlaw King in the end was one of the best movies that I have seen this year, and it was a really good show to sit through. Maybe it's because I'm a big history fan, but I think, in my opinion, even if you don't care too much about history or historical events, this is a movie that you should really see because it is beautifully made. Now the reviews of this movie aren't too great, but I don't know what's going on there. I really enjoyed this movie, and I'm really glad that somebody actually took the budget and time to make this historical story onto the big screen. That's it for today, people. If you like this video, please consider liking it. If you didn't like it, dislike it. If you want to support the channel, please subscribe and turn on the notification icon to be notified whenever I upload new videos. And tell me if you all seen this movie, what did you think of it in the comments down below. And if you didn't see it, I urge you all to go and watch it. Until next time, I have been Oni. Thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay cool. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.